So you just said something really interesting. You said you probably should get a deck instead of a proposal first time out from some racers. So I say this all the time. You have not been on one of my webinars. You haven't heard it yet, but I say all the time, don't send a proposal to a company that you don't know yet. Get to know them first. You don't want to propose to somebody until, there's a relationship, and the deck starts that relationship. What do you look for in a deck, and what kind of a deck would set itself apart so that it would actually attract your attention? You might open it and call the racer back and say, you know what, let's talk about your program. I want to learn more.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's actually a perfect question. And I learned something when I started doing this for K&N. Before I actually had ownership of our sports marketing group, roughly about 15 years ago, and I had a boss here that he had a great saying that I kind of adapted and held on to, which was, never build a plan around your opportunities. Always find the opportunities that fit your plan. So what I look for in those decks are really somebody that understands that our plan is right. And then shows me how their opportunity fits that plan, because without it, I have no interest, right? It has to fit my agenda. And if they can figure out what my agenda is, which is tough, it's really tough to know what that is. But even if they can open that door a little bit, ultimately everybody should know my plan is to sell filters.
Yes.
Right. So if they figure out a way to tell me how they're going to sell filters, well, that opens the door to say that they're interested in my plan and they're looking for ways to do it. And then as that progresses, we'll find more opportunities to within their program that fits our plan. So nice. It's really more about if they understand what our plan is. And again, there's multiple levels to that, but just find one.
So it sounds like, sending you a proposal without knowing what your plan is it's almost not going to get them a very high consideration when it comes to your evaluating them. But a deck now will open that door where they can start a conversation and learn what your plan is. Are you willing to discuss your plan to people who you know and meet and get to know at the races, or even meet maybe virtually, by email?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, it's tough to know what our plan is without actually having those conversations. And that's why I prefer a deck. We run through when I do get a deck, or even if something else proposed, I'm constantly looking at what's going on in the scene. And if there's somebody that I see out there that I think that they may have something that fits our plan, I immediately start evaluating them for the following year. I mean, I start right now, every day, as I go through and I cruise social and I look through those kind of things, I look for people that I'm going to pay attention through the end of this year and see how they perform and see how their program really fits our plan. And then when we start getting closer, that's when I open that door. Obviously I'm only one person and there's a lot of people out there. We just talked about 500 of these different people that have actually made the attempt to come and do something in some way. So it's not very easy to react to all of those. But if there's something I see that I like, then I'll definitely jump and I'll open and the conversation and a lot of those things. Not that anybody should wait for those doors to open for them, right? Start knocking on those doors, but make sure that you have something to say when somebody does answer.
You kind of have to know what the business objective is before you propose to be part of their marketing, right? It's, how can you be a marketing brand ambassador, an extension of the marketing arm, if you don't know what their marketing objectives are? So how often does your plan change? And out of curiosity, what is the current plan? What are you currently doing with teams, series, properties that represent K&N?